Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. I am in Rust today, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a little bit of a new player guide. Now, Rust right now is currently the #1 selling game on Steam. 66 of my friends currently have the game, and it's been in pre-release on Steam for a little while now, but a lot of people are interested in this game, and if you are one of them, this video should be helpful to you. Also, if you're just starting out, you don't really have an idea of what's going on, this is also going to be a relatively good resource. Now, this assumes you know pretty much nothing about the game. So, Rust, as it stands right now, is still in alpha release. You can see that over at the top right-hand side of my screen. And when you spawn into the world, you're going to be placed at a seemingly random location. You're going to have 3 items in your inventory. One is a rock, one is a bandage, and one is a torch. With your rock, the first thing you want to do is look for some piles like this. You have these lumber piles here. You have those rocks over there that you can hit. There are 2 different types of those. We'll probably see one soon. And you just want to take your rock and you want to hit these. Now, it's very important when you're picking a server on Rust. If you're new to the game, you probably want to pick a server with a lower population, just so you can get a feel for what's going on and really start to understand how the mechanics of this game actually works. For the purposes of this video, I am on a server that is not populated at all. I'm just going to be honest about that. So there's really no threat of another player running over to me, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So as you can see, as I'm hitting these on the right side of the screen, we are getting various resources from the rock here. Now, the wood piles, they always give wood, and you might be wondering, well, why do you want to gather wood from that when there are a million trees around? Well, it's actually quite simple. If you hit a tree, I kind of went through it there, remember this is an alpha. When you hit a tree, I get 1 wood. When I hit a lumber pile, I get 7. That alone should be very, very clear as to why you want to look for these. You can gather the material much, much, much faster. And just like this lumber pile, the trees will actually stop giving you wood after a while. Now, these lumber piles will just disappear, but the trees themselves will remain standing, just not offer any of their wood to you any longer. Explain that to me with science. I really don't think you can. After you've gotten a little bit of resources, the first thing you want to find, it's important. The first thing you want to find is the road. This map is basically, it's not exactly a circle, but the road goes around the map in a circle. There is going to be a map in the video description of this video, if you look down below, that you can use. It'll give you an overview of what's going on. And if you're brand new to the game, I definitely recommend that instead of gathering resources, instead of trying to establish a base, just find the road and run around the road a couple times. You can make, I believe, 2 laps per 1 day cycle, and it'll help you so much in understanding where you are. Now, I'm killing a pig with a rock. It's where did it go? He's a little slippery son of a bitch. It's a very gruesome thing, but you have to survive. It's as simple as that. You have to survive. And, well, how you do that, at least right now, I wonder if they're going to add in, like, vegetables you can grow and stuff. But how you survive right now is by bashing your rock into harmless animals' heads and gathering various resources from their corpse. Now, if that doesn't entice you into playing this game, I really don't know what will. But you can see from this, we're gathering animal fat, we're gathering raw chicken breast, which at the current time is the only food in the game, and we got some cloth. Some animals also drop leather. Now, we are going to have to kill another one of these because I'm going to need a little bit more cloth. It's also very important to make sure the pig you're chasing is a pig. Because sometimes they're a bear, and they look the same from some angles, and it could really be quite the surprise when you're running forward and the pig you think you're about to kill turns out to be a bear who charges directly at you. Bears are terrifying. Okay, so second pig is dead. This should give us enough cloth. Now, as I am driving my rock into the corpse of this dead animal, you can see at the bottom right side of the screen my health, number, my food number, which I refer to as calories from here on out, and my current radiation level. You can see that my health is at 100% because I haven't taken any damage from anything, but every time I swing this rock, my food level goes down. Well, how do you fix that? Well, we gathered some wood earlier, and we can go ahead and take that wood. Make sure crafting is enabled. Well, you hit tab to open up your crafting thing. Make sure crafting is enabled on the side, and you simply want to make a campfire. Some servers have instant crafting times. It appears that this is one of them. And then once you have the campfire, just put it on your hotbar, and you will be dropping that onto the ground. To interact with it, you want to hold down the E button. Don't just simply press it, but hold it down. If you just press it, it'll just ignite the flame. And you want to put your raw chicken breast into the campfire, and that'll begin cooking. Fantastic. Easy peasy. This is the other rock that you can find. From what I can tell, I believe they all drop the same resources, but they just have two different models. This also looks like a pig from a distance, so you really have to be careful when you're approaching anything that may or may not be a pig. Now, it's very important to remember that at night, this gives off a ton of light. So if you need to cook food, I would recommend doing it in the middle of the day, because players in this game are so notoriously bad-mannered in the community right now. There are a few social butterflies like myself who go out there and they try to be friendly, but most of the community will kill you where you stand, even for a couple pieces of chicken. Okay, so with this cloth I picked up earlier, we are going to be able to make ourselves a bow. So you want to scroll down until you find the weapons and craft yourself a hunting bow. It takes 35 wood and 5 cloth. Now this bow is pretty much the most basic weapon you can get. Now from also harvesting the stones you see, or from the rock formations, you can see I have 6 stones. With those stones we can make arrows. It requires 1 stone and 4 wood per arrow. And then you simply change the number that you want to craft at the bottom. You can use Shift and Control when you're clicking on one of the sides, and it'll speed up the process. Just so you know. All right, we have a little bit of food cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and take that, put it on my taskbar, my hotkey bar at the bottom, and go ahead and equip my bow. And I want to show you one of the other things that inhabit the world of Rust. This is a town that is defaultly in the game. This is not a player-made town. This is, I believe it's called Rad Town on the map. This is one of the best locations ever. I actually got pretty lucky with my spawn. This is one of the best locations ever to get loot, and I'll show you the particular path that I take in this area. I've been in here a million times, and the loot always spawns in the same locations. So one thing that really helped me with learning the game, I do this in every single game I play. Some people find it annoying, some people find it adorable, but I give special names to everything. And me and my friends were out scouring the map. Please pay attention to these loot locations while I'm rambling. We were out scouring the map and we saw this place, and most of the radiation-filled areas have a lot of zombies in them. But this didn't have any zombies. So I called it Rad Town because it was nothing but radiation. And it turns out it is called Rad Town on on the official, well, the map that everyone uses at least. So as I'm running through town, you can see I'm accumulating radiation. I found some radiation-proof boots, radiation-resistant boots, and I went ahead and equipped those. So it is going to be lowering the rate that I accumulate this radiation. But radiation is something that you definitely have to keep track of. There are a few irradiated spots along the road, and in them, it can be really dangerous to hang out for too long. This is probably the least radiated spot in the game that you can get a decent amount of loot at, but it's also not a place you want to hang out in for too long. Right now I'm at about 250. I believe the number, please don't, I hope I don't get this wrong, it's 500. If your radiation levels go over 500, you become like poisoned and start taking exorbitant amounts of damage over time until your radiation level kind of normalizes again. So I believe I have looted everything. Nope. Didn't go in here. Did I miss this? I guess I did. Okay. Okay, so we got everything. Time to get the hell out of here, and we're just going to go back to where our campfire was earlier, because most of that food we cooked should be done by now. Didn't have a reason to use a bow. Sometimes there are some zombies in that town that people run in there, but for right now, it was pretty clear. Now all I have to do is remember where I put my campfire, which I think it's over this hill. I'm pretty sure it was over this hill. Now, in a normal circumstance, I just want to stress that this is not a normal circumstance because there's no players on the server. You wouldn't want to leave your campfire out in the open. You would want to find a nice secluded rock over there to hide your campfire in. Did I really lose my campfire? I think I legitimately lost my campfire. There wasn't a bear near my campfire. It was more this way. Yeah, whatever. I lost my campfire. I have no idea where it is. I'll probably stumble across it as I'm moving to the next area. So, it's important to keep in mind that while you're out gathering all of these resources, there are going to be other players out gathering these resources. They started out with the same basic tools that you started out with. They are hungry. They have needs. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be relentless for the most part. If they see you and it looks like you have some sort of equipment that can benefit them, they will likely chase after you with any resources that they have and try to take you down and steal your stuff. So what can you do to help prevent that? Well, first of all is avoiding main roads. You want to stay off the main roads and I like to stay near mountain ranges. Basically, I like to stay in a place where I could see them coming before they see me. So if I was normally walking through this field, I would be up there on the rock line going through. But I'm actually going for some more materials right now, so I'm sticking to this field. While I was on that loot run, I picked up these metal fragments. Now with these metal fragments, I can craft a hatchet. If you can't make a normal hatchet, there's a stone hatchet in here somewhere. A stone hatchet that just requires 5 stones and 10 wood. But since I found these metal fragments, I'll go ahead and make the improved one, because why not? The hatchet can be used to farm everything at a very, very efficient rate. So you no longer need the rock once you get a hatchet. You can simply pull this out, start slamming it into whatever's next to you, and you'll be pretty well off. Now, something you want to think about very, very early on when you're getting established, I'm going to need a little bit more cloth. Something you want to think about when you're getting established is making a sleeping bag. With that sleeping bag, you'll be able to respawn at the area where you put your sleeping bag. So let's say one of these relentless bandits comes along and kills you for all of your stuff. Well, when you die, you actually drop a backpack. So when you are killed, a backpack is dropped on the ground. And if they don't take everything, you can actually get back to your backpack and re-loot some of your items. Now that varies based on the server settings. Sometimes the backpacks stay there indefinitely, sometimes they're gone within a few seconds. But it's very important that you have a sleeping bag near the area that you're sticking to. And to make that sleeping bag, all you simply do is gather up, it's in here somewhere, there it is, 15 cloth. And we'll go ahead and craft that and put this on the ground. Again, you would not want to put it in the middle of a field, but let's say for whatever reason I want the middle of this field to be my house. Well, there's my sleeping bag and I'm ready to go. In the world, you not only have to worry about dangerous animals like bears and wolves, you not only have to worry about radiation areas, but you also have to worry about the zombies that inhabit these worlds. And I'll be able to show you the variety of zombies very shortly. This one is the red one. They are incredibly fast and incredibly dangerous because once they notice you, you can see they gap close very, very, very quickly. They will die from, holy shit, I got a hollow sight blueprint. They will die from one arrow or a gunshot to the head. But you just have to be on your toes. You need to be very adamantly listening for footsteps around you. If one of them were to hit you, it is very likely that you will start to bleed. And in order to... Holy shit, a laser sight blueprint. You gotta be kidding. In order to seal up the wound, you have to... And a research kit. Oh, man. Well then, I am getting rather established very quickly. In order to seal up the wound, you need to use the bandages that you were provided with. Oh shit. Which I will have to do momentarily. So you can see I'm bleeding down at the bottom right. Use the bandage, and then I want to eat some food, and that'll start to regenerate my health. If you don't seal up the wound, you will continue to take, I believe, 4 damage every few seconds. That was a good shot. So it's very important to make sure you either have bandages or med kits on you at all times. Metal wall, not bad. You can make more bandages by scrolling down to the medical area, and it takes 2 cloth per bandage, so I just made a little bit more. And once again, you get the cloth from beating the shit out of a dead animal corpse. So those were the red zombies. I would say that they are the most dangerous. Over on the road here after them, and again, I know where all this stuff is just because I tend to live on this side of the map, and you just get familiar with your surroundings the more you move around the road and the more you play in a particular area. So I definitely recommend finding an area you like and staying there. What you want to look for when you're making a house is zombies around you, resources around you, and animals around you. If you can find those 3 things, that's fantastic. Another bonus would be to find an area that has loot crates. Like Radtown, for instance. Radtown, the town we were just at a few moments ago, is a very, very highly contested area because there's so many loot spawns there. But back on topic, these are the black zombies. You can see I just killed one a moment ago. And in order to take them down, it takes 4 arrows. So these guys are much more efficiently killed when you can get your hands on a gun. But 4 arrows will bring them down. And as you can see, they're very slow. But because they're so slow, they actually hit very hard. Each one of these black zombies will hit you for about 50 damage per swing. So if they hit you twice, you're dead. Whereas I believe the red zombies, if they hit you once, it's around 30 or 25 health. So you can definitely withstand a little bit more punishment from them. Up ahead, I should be able to show you another type of zombie. Is there anyone on this server? Because I don't see them. Oh, the server doesn't have /who commands. It's likely that someone ran through here earlier and moved them all to the rock. Yeah, I can see one on the rock, but there's also a wolf in the way. So I'm going to look for a different one. There's some more on down the road. No big deal. Oh, here's one right here. Okay, so these are just the white zombies. They take 1 arrow to kill, they do very low damage, and another research kit. Oh my goodness. So, depending on the server settings, these research kits are really rare, excuse me. So that's why I'm kind of like surprised that I'm getting them. The server I normally play on, those are like gold. When you find one of those, you get excited. They also drop food, so we have some extra food here now. So, one of the places that's very prime real estate, in my opinion, is over by Civ Hangar. So if you're looking to make a house somewhere, I definitely recommend that you do it over there. Now, in order to get there, you can see I ran from Radtown. I went around that mountain over there, and you could continue to just follow the road, but there's a lot of zombies in the way, and I don't have very many arrows left, so I'm just going to simply run around the left side here. I'm just going to try to avoid them. The more you move around the map again, the more you'll begin to understand your surroundings. It takes a special type of person to really... I'm talking about myself here. It really takes a very highly intelligent person to be able to navigate this map to the full extent. And I'm certainly one of them, if I do say so myself. Honestly, I really hardly ever get lost. And the reason for that is I stick to the southern end of the map. I've run laps around the southern end of the map. I know it very well. I know shortcuts over mountains. I know things like that. And that'll just come with time. So when you start playing and your friend's like, oh yeah, I'm at Civ Hangar, come meet me up. Or come meet up with me, you know, whatever the kids are saying these days, I have no idea. And you can't find them right away, don't be discouraged. So many people get discouraged when that happens. Simply stick to the road. The road goes around the entire map, and once you get your bearings, you'll get really, really, really used to figuring out how to get around. So through these trees over here is what's called Civ Hangar. It's called Civ Hangar because there's a giant hangar there. I know it's really confusing and hard to understand, but this is a very popular housing destination. People like to hide in these rocks over here. People like to just hide in the trees. They'll build houses over here. And the reason for that is the exact same reasons I was talking about earlier. There is a pile of resources around here. You can see the wood pile there. There's a bunch in that direction. There's a bunch in that direction. There are animals in the middle of the field here that you can harvest. There's animals in the forest that way that you can harvest. And in each of these non-player made buildings, there are also loot crates. So you can gear up really, really fast. Now, the downside of that is a lot of other people will have that same mentality and they'll want to stay in this area. It's really important to understand that. Okay, well, we've done all right for ourselves. We have a decent amount of gear. We have 2 research kits. We have a sleeping bag. So let's go. You know, the sun's on its way down. We're ending this day cycle. Let's go find a place to stay. Now, again, depending on how populated the server is, you may want to hide this a little bit more. But I'm gonna go ahead and walk over here. I'm gonna go to crafting, and I'm going to make a, what is it called? Small wood shelter. That's what it's called. It takes 50 wood. And we just go ahead, make that, and we will slap it down in these rocks. Very, very easy to place. You can pretty much fucking put them anywhere that there's ground. But we'll go ahead and put it in these rocks. Now you want to make sure that when you're doing that, it doesn't clip through like this. If you put your house down right there, half of your house is going to be taken up by that rock. So you want to make sure that it fits in nicely. Just like that. So we can come in here. This is our place. We now have a home. Isn't that good? Now, to protect this, to protect your home, and I can only recommend this for when you are first starting out. I cannot stress that enough. You want to upgrade this as soon as possible. But for your house, you want to make a wooden door. That is on this list somewhere. I hardly ever make wooden doors. There it is. That's going to take 30 wood, and just put that on your hotbar, and you'll be able to slap a door right on your house. And go up and open it. Now, the reason you do not want to keep this on a structure that you want to hold on to is simply because someone with an axe can come up and beat the living crap out of your door. I believe it's 200 swings, and then your door will disappear. So everything you've worked for, everything you've saved for, everything you've salvaged, everything you've stored in your house will be very abruptly taken by whoever decides to knock your door in. It's very, very common. You want to make sure that you can protect your resources. So what you want to do is, first of all, let's make this a little homely. What you want to do is when you have 200 metal fragments, you need to replace this door by breaking it with a metal door. You can see I have a little bit of stuff in there. There's a little bit of daylight left, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to farm a little bit more cloth. Farm a little bit more cloth. There's a bear over there. Do I have enough? No, I do not. Let's see if we can get some more stones really fast for some more arrows. How'd we do? We got 4 stones. Okay. Let's make some more arrows. Now these bears, they give a ton of resources, but they are going to be a little bit harder to kill. They're going to take 4 arrows to kill. And they're not that fast, at least in this current stage of the game. So you should be able to get away from them pretty easily. As I almost get my face eaten off. Aiming the bow is something that is also a acquired skill. It's not something that you're going to be able to immediately pick up and do, more than likely. How it works is it shoots an arrow at the middle of your screen. So once you actually get a feel for where the middle of your screen is, it'll become significantly easier. So what I'm looking for off of this bear are, I'm looking for animal fat and I'm looking for cloth. So we're gonna need a little bit more cloth, about 10 more. Let's see if I can kill a deer. Deer are pretty hard to kill just because they're so fast. Oh yeah, right in the ass. Right in the ass. Basically, the bigger the animal, the more resources you're gonna get when you harvest it. That's just a general rule of thumb. That should be enough cloth. But I want to show you guys the wolves too, because I haven't run into any yet. And there's always one in this area here. There's always one in this area here. Hello, pigs. Hello, deer. Where are... Oh, shit, that scared me. Thought it was someone moving around. So basically, the general rule of thumb with people is avoid them. If someone walks up to you and starts talking over voice chat, if you have a microphone on your computer, you can press V, and then you can see up at the top right that shows that I'm communicating in-game. But I am getting chased by that wolf that we were talking about. Really, really easy strategy to avoid these guys is to jump up on a rock or, you know, one of these mining rocks here. And they can't get up. So basically, he's stuck under me, and I could have a friend come over and kill him if I needed to. Or another easy strategy, as I use my last bandage, is to simply walk into a building. And on the current build of the game, they can't walk into the building. So they just kind of get stuck in the doorway, and you can kill them. This works for zombies, too. Zombies can't get in the doorways right now, either. But we'll simply harvest him, head back to our base, and I'll show you guys how to make metal fragments. And I think that's how we're going to end this video. Because this is all pretty much the stuff you want to do on your first day. In your first day, you need to get food, you need to get shelter, and start being able to make metal fragments. It's really probably the most important thing. Because once you have metal fragments, forget the looting the zombies stuff. Forget that. So you want to get food, you want to get a bow, you want to get resources, find a place to live, and be able to craft metal fragments. How you do that is by making a furnace. And for the furnace, we're going to need more stones, we're going to need more wood. I've been using it pretty sparingly, but you also need low-grade fuel. And to make low-grade fuel, we need the animal fat that we've been gathering, and we need the cloth that we've been gathering. And we actually didn't need as much cloth as I thought. But you need 10 low-grade fuel. So once that's been made, you're pretty much good to go. Now I need to run out here and get stones. How many stones do I need for the furnace? 15 stones and 20 wood. Now, pro tip. Pro fucking tip. A lot of players have a very hard time seeing at night. A very hard time seeing at night. The majority of players who play Rust will not be able to see at night. But if your monitor has a game mode setting where it adjusts the contrast and the brightness of your monitor for specifically games, or a night view mode on your monitor, you can see for almost the majority of the night. I couldn't figure out how Hengist was doing it, because I would walk out in the middle of the night and I couldn't see shit, but Hengist was like shooting zombies and all that kind of stuff. It's simply the contrast settings on your monitor. So I definitely recommend adjusting that. It can give you a pretty huge advantage in gathering these loot crates. It can give you a pretty huge advantage in just PvP. If someone's out in the open and you know where they are and you want to take them down, you can sneak up on them in the middle of the night. They'll never even fucking know you're there. It's a really nice advantage if you have the actual hardware to take advantage of that, which luckily enough, I do. So, there should be some stones down this direction. And hopefully I can get them before the sun goes down. Because you guys won't be able to see much after that happens. Okay, I've gathered all of the stones I need just as the sun is going down. Hopefully you guys can still see just fine. But this is basically how you get established on a server. How you begin to become established on a server within a day's time. And what I would recommend doing after this, so tonight, what I'm going to do is simply cook my food. I'm going to smelt some more. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And I'm going to craft. I'm going to make sure that I have arrows ready to go for the next day. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to start looking for guns. The easiest way to get guns is by killing those zombies earlier. You can get gun blueprints that you can craft into guns pretty easy. Are there seriously 2 rocks right here? That kind of sucks. I ran pretty far to get those. You can get guns out of those. You can also get guns out of loot crates. So if you can harvest, or excuse me, if you can loot stuff out of the Civ hangar behind me, if you can make it over to Rad Town, if you can loot over by those zombies, by the tanks that I decided not to run by but are very close by, you could really get a gun really fast. And you can either use that to protect yourself, or you could simply use that to kill other players and loot their things, depending on how much of a heartless bastard you are. So here we are at my house. We're just gonna cook this food. Now for the food, here, let me bank some of this stuff. For the food, what you want to do is split up each item. So you want to split up your stacks so the food cooks faster. For the smelting, what you do in the furnace, again, you light that the same way. Actually, in order to light this, you need to put wood in it. The campfire comes with 5 wood that you need to replace eventually, but the furnace doesn't come with anything. So we're going to split our stack of wood here. Put that into the furnace. It has to have wood in it in order for it to work. But then you want to put in your sulfur ore and your metal ore. Now this'll, and then close it and ignite it. And what this will do is it'll smelt these down. For the sulfur ore, you'll get piles of sulfur, and it's like I can't say that word, and charcoal. And you can use that to make gunpowder later on. And from the metal ore, you get these metal fragments, which I've already kind of showed is used for making hatchets and other various tools. Now that I have a place to live, let's go ahead and throw down my sleeping bag. Once again, if I die, I will be magically revived back at here if I choose to be revived at camp. And once again, once you have 200 of these metal fragments, you want to open up your crafting window. You will find the metal door. It needs 200 fragments and a workbench. The workbench is another thing you need to make. It simply takes stones and wood. Very, very, very easy. And you could slap that down in here if you can find some room to. And to craft at the workbench, all you have to do is stand next to it. But the furnace is much more important. You want to make the furnace first and then the workbench later on. Craft your metal door and then hit this thing with a hatchet until it breaks off. But I've been talking for a really long time. I doubt most of you even watched to the end of the video. If you did, I sincerely appreciate it. This is my guide to starting out on Rust without having to kill players, without having to confront anyone. And remember, if you're brand new, I recommend finding the road and making laps around the road. Remember, the sun may rise in the east. At least it settles in a fine location, which is the west. It's a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. You should know that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you found it helpful, if you found it insightful, if you liked the sound of my incredibly masculine voice, I encourage you to hit the thumbs up button below. And if you guys want some more Rust videos, I can show you some loot runs that I like to do and just some other various things that I do in this game. I play it quite a lot. I might be mildly addicted to it. All right. Thank you all for watching, guys. Okay, bye.